3 seconds were left, and she was going to be unconscious soon. At this time, the beast hurriedly gave her a liquid and told her to drink it. She drank it, and before the time limit was up. As a result, she got detoxified from the poison. The beast then asked her if she was all right. The girl replied that she now felt fine. The beast became happy and said his blood really worked. But suddenly he felt pain from his hand. The girl asked him to calm down and that she was going to find a medicine. After a while, she bandaged his hand and the bleeding finally stopped. At this moment they heard some loud noises. The girl then informed that it was the wake-up call, they should leave immediately. The beast asked in confusion what had happened. The girl then explained, every inner disciple had a lamp fire in the main hall, and if the lamp fire gets extinguished, it meant that the disciple was dead. And this lamp would even inform the last location of the owner, so they should soon get out of here. After a while, someone landed on the ground, making it crack a little. This old man was the great sword hall elder, Fengbu. He had a worried expression, and as soon as he spotted his disciple, Lai, who was now dead, he became full of rage. His eyes became cold with anger. He slashed the building and destroyed it with his spell, but soon realized that the culprit might have already ran away. At this moment, a disciple came running. The old man asked if he found anything. The disciple bowed and said with reverence, some people said that Brother Lai had taken fancy to an outer disciple and came to look for her today. The old man asked what was her name. The man replied, Bu Fengyan. The old man then said he had never heard of this name before. How could an outer sect no-name disciple beat one of the strongest inner sect disciple? It could only mean there must be a third party, someone who colluded with her and harmed his beloved disciple. His eyes became cold as he issued another command, pass my orders. The disciples of our sect should immediately pursue and kill the murderer or anyone whom they find suspicious. The disciple became shocked and thought, if the person who could kill Senior Lai, who was at the expert stage, must be someone above that realm, how could they even fight with them? The old man once again said, anyone who could provide clues about the murderer would be rewarded with 500 spirit stones. Those who would participate in killing the murderer would get a spirit treasure as a reward, and finally anyone who captures the culprit would be officially declared as his disciple. The man was shocked hearing all this, because these rewards were so tempting that he could even risk his life for it. As, just for participating, one was getting spirit treasure, this would help them reach the next level in cultivation. He then agreed and left. The next day, everyone was busy searching the girl and her accomplices. They even discussed among themselves that it was impossible for her to defeat him. At this moment, one of the disciples found a girl and a beast on her. He suddenly shouted that he had finally found her. Everyone was excited seeing this. They realized that they would become rich today. On the other side, the girl and the beast looked very calm and even chatted happily with each other. The disciple frowned seeing this, but then smirked. He asked them to surrender if they didn't want to go through pain. The girl ignored the disciple's babbling and took out her sword. The disciple smiled and said, they are all inner disciples, and she was just an outer disciple. If they unsheathed their sword, she couldn't even take a blow. The girl and the beast both said in synchronization, then why don't you try it? After some time, all the disciples laid there injured. The girl stood there with her sword, still astonished on the fact that she took care of them so easily. The beast smiled and thought it was all thanks to this screen in front of him. After she had defeated Senior Lai, this new feature tab had unlocked, and 2 high-grade sword art were displayed. He then learnt all these art and optimized it to improve the way of fighting. The girl, Bu Feng, then kneeled down and thanked the beast for his guidance. She was happy as even the most ordinary and easy attacks the beast issued turned into overpowered ones. The girl then asked, was this the gap between ordinary people and martial arts masters? The beast was embarrassed hearing all this. Suddenly, the girl sat in a meditative position. All the energy in the surroundings moved towards her and got sucked. After a while, the girl opened her eyes and said with a happy voice she had finally broken through to the next level. This was all because of his guidance. The beast was at a loss of words and thought, wasn't this girl too overpowered? The beast thought this girl deserved the protagonist tag, as her talent was very high. The beast then advised her that she had to increase her combat power too, and before he could complete his sentence, they both sensed a strong energy fluctuation and turned around. Seeing an old man, the beast was on alert, but the girl Bu Feng realized who he was. The beast then asked about him. The girl said, "This old man is Deacon Lynn. He is the deacon of the inner sect and is responsible for supervising the practice of his disciples. He is very strong." One of the disciples who was injured by her woke up and laughed. He said, "Deacon Lin and Elder Feng were very close. They were good friends. Since she killed Elder Feng's disciple, Deacon Lin won't let her go." The man emitted eerie energy, making the girl tremble. He then attacked her, after imbuing his sword with his energy. The girl didn't have any time to react and got injured in an instant. The man then calmly said he had heard that the culprit was strong, but it looked like it was nothing more than a rumor. The beast, on the other hand, thought Deacon was one rank lower than an elder, but his power seemed to be matching that of an elder. This person was very strong. Suddenly, the girl spoke and apologized to the beast and said her mind was not in place and she was taken off guard. She then prepared herself and said with a determined voice, "This time it won't be like that." The beast looked towards the old man, who was overflowing with energy, and thought, even though Bu Feng was determined, she was not his match. On the other side, inside a hall, a disciple bowed. Elder Feng then asked him, how was the investigation going? The disciple then said, Deacon Lin had found Bu Feng's trail and was fighting her. The old man then said, if it was Deacon Lin, then he was assured. In the forest, the fight continued. The old man then said, it turned out that she could actually use basic swordsmanship to such extent. Even Lai Tian couldn't do it. Even her cultivation had improved recently. To be able to break through during combat showed that her talent was excellent. The old man's eyes suddenly went cold as he asked, tell me, are you colluding with outsiders with a motive to harm our sect? The girl then refuted, it was Senior Lai who wanted to force me, so I resisted. The old man ignored her words and attacked her once again. This attack was much more powerful than the previous ones. Even though the girl raised her sword to block, she knew that it was impossible to block it. There was no way to fight back. At this moment, the beast smiled because he got a notification. It was a task. The task was, regardless of Lin Gu's area, he intended to teach Bu Feng a few tricks of martial arts. The beast got confused reading this, but then realized something. Lin Gu was the name of this old man, Deacon Lin. Could it be that Deacon Lin is unkind on the surface, but actually in his heart he has no malice towards Bu Feng? Was he teaching Bu Feng some sword art? All of a sudden the girl Bu Feng heard the beast's voice. The beast said, observe the opponent's moves carefully. This might be a good opportunity for you to learn the intersect martial arts. The girl, even though confused, thought his benefactor wanted her to train herself in actual combat experience, and here she was getting afraid. She then erupted with tremendous fighting spirit. The old man was surprised and thought, so she found out? The girl then perfectly copied the old man's earlier move. Deacon Lai, seeing this, thought, even though the power was not much, but to copy a move in such a short time, in so much pressure, was commendable. She had already surpassed 90% of the disciples in the sect. The girl was thinking, His Grace was right. After calming down, it was much easier for her to observe Deacon Lin's moves, and those seemed to be traceable. She was full of praise towards the beast. The beast, on the other hand, was happy seeing the screen in front of him as it said, the host had accepted the task, and after completion, a reward would be given. The disciple who was beaten badly by Bu Feng was shocked to the core, because it had been more than 10 moves, and this outer sect disciple could still go on with Deacon Lin. The beast told him to shut up. At this moment a voice sounded in the beast's ears. Ding! The task is complete. The beast was excited as he looked at the rewards. The reward was 1,000-star pendant, and it even had one-click optimization. The beast had no idea what that was, but as it looked cool he clicked on the yes button. The screen then changed and another message popped up. Acquire host exclusive skills, transformation. At this moment, someone stepped up angrily. It was Elder Feng. He shouted towards Deacon Lynn, "Lin Gu, what are you taking so long for?" The girls, seeing Elder Feng, got scared. All of a sudden, they all heard a voice. Stop it all. Everyone turned to see the source of the voice. They saw a cold-faced man with many other disciples behind him. The girl was surprised seeing the headmaster here. Elder Feng then asked the headmaster, what did he mean by stop? This girl was the one who colluded with the enemies and killed his chief disciple, so she should be punished. The beast, hearing all this, asked Bu Feng through voice transmission, wasn't this Elder Feng just an elder? How could he talk to the headmaster this way? The girl then replied, Elder Feng had always been arrogant and wanted the position of headmaster, but as he didn't get it, he became even more rebellious. The headmaster then said, there were many doubts regarding this murder, so he would take this disciple away for now until the investigation reaches a conclusion. Elder Feng snorted and said, Lai Han was a disciple he taught, and if he said that she was the killer, then she was. If he didn't want to kill her, then he would do it personally. The headmaster gritted his teeth and was about to take action when a mocking voice resounded in everyone's ears. How could a group of old men with high position embarrass an outside disciple? Elder Feng asked, who is speaking out? The beast replied with a smirk, that it was him. The old man got surprised and said, wasn't he the cub they were going to prepare as an ingredient so he could even talk? The beast then smiled and said, he was no ordinary cub. Instead, he didn't complete his sentence and directly transformed into a human. This was the skill he got, which could allow him to transform into any human form he imagined, but it would consume spiritual power to maintain it. The beast had transformed back to his human body from Earth, with the exact same clothes. One of the disciples exclaimed, what a weird set of clothes. The other one looked at him and told him to shut up, as this was not the focus here. Elder Feng got worried and asked, a demon beast transforming into human was unheard of. Who was he? The boy then thought, this situation must be handled with care. He had already read everything about their sect from the system screen and prepared a story for it. He then started boasting, little guy, even the founder of your sect, Chi Wu, would politely refer to me as master. What kind of thing are you to yell at me? As Elder Feng was arrogant, he became angry and directly charged at the boy, shouting not to tell lies. His attack was fierce with the intention to kill. The boy smiled and picked up a sword that was lying near the injured disciple. He then directly blocked the attack. Seeing this, the people got shocked. They said this was the 1,000-star pendant. The headmaster said, it was indeed that, but its power was much stronger. Could it be that this boy was really someone related to the ancestor of their sect, as this art was only practiced by him? The boy then said in a disappointed tone, he had never imagined Kiwu disciples and grandchildren to be this weak. Their martial art was so shallow, he was afraid this sect would be ruined in their hands. For a moment, there was silence, as everyone heard those words. After a while, the headmaster spoke, everyone greet the senior. He then himself bowed to the boy. After a while, inside the Yuan pavilion, the boy was offered a seat by the headmaster. The girl was surprised seeing the grandeur of the hall. As this area came under the inner sect, she, an outer sect disciple, never expected to have a chance of seeing it. The headmaster politely asked the girl to sit down. The girl was surprised by the sudden respect she was getting. The other inner sect disciples were jealous and envied her. The boy then spoke, your surname is also the same as the founder. Are you his descendant? The headmaster hurriedly said, he dared not. It was just that the younger generation happened to have the same name as the ancestor. The boy suddenly remembered. When the game started, the headmaster was already dead. His description was finished in just one sentence, and he was not an important character. The headmaster suddenly spoke, "I don't know why Senior came to our sect." The boy then thought they must never know the truth, and so he started creating another story. The boy then spoke. While he was practicing, something went wrong, and his meridians were damaged. He remembered that his old friend had created a sect, and that was nearby, so he came here to recuperate. What the boy referred to as his old friend was the ancestor of their sect. Realizing this, the headmaster hurriedly apologized and cursed Elder Fang for being rude and offending him. The girl, on the other hand, was getting more and more excited seeing the beast act so confidently. The headmaster then spoke to the girl. "How lucky are you, Bu Feng, to be able to talk by the predecessor himself. That was the reason for your fast cultivation." The boy sighed and said, the main reason she advanced to the next level was because of her talent. He just gave her some pointers. The headmaster then once again bowed reverently and told him that they were presumptuous and couldn't invite him properly, but now that he was here, he would be treated as the guest of honor. The boy then smiled and transformed back to his beast form. As soon as he transformed back, he shouted, "Quit to the system." The people there were confused as they couldn't understand the word. The headmaster then shouted towards the disciples to hurriedly find a place for Senior to rest. The disciples left quickly. Soon the day passed. It was night time. In the headmaster's room, one disciple came and informed him that the residence for Senior had been arranged. The headmaster then told him to go first as he would be coming after some time. The disciple leaves after closing the door. The headmaster then slowly spoke to a shadowy figure, "Thanks to you, Deacon Lynn, for bringing time and opportunities for our sect. If I could keep Senior in our sect for some more time, then it would be a big help in the future." It turns out the shadowy figure was Deacon Lynn. Deacon Lynn then said he had indeed tested Bu Feng's talent, and it was outstanding. It was even higher than that Lai Tian. If Senior were to groom her, then the sect would get another powerhouse. The headmaster then said, "But this Feng Bu won't let the matter go, as his disciple was killed, so Deacon Lin, please hold him down for a while." At this moment a sudden shout came from outside. Both of them became alert. Deacon Lin said that he was going to have a look, but he couldn't complete his sentence as the gate was blasted open, and from it emerged Elder Feng. Feng Bu laughed and said, "Lin Gu, I treated you as a brother but never expected you to be a dog of the headmaster." Seeing him, they both became shocked, but more than that, they were shocked by the thing behind him, as that was the most hated enemy of humans, a demon. That's all for this video. I want to ask you a question. Which character did you like the most and why? Answer in the comments.